Good morning, everyone. It's been a while since I've made a video, probably a full month now, so it's definitely time to make a video. I haven't been feeling well this past few weeks, and my energy level has been real low. And part of it is intentions on my part, and I'll explain to that. I'll explain. I am low deficiency anemic. And that's common with people with kidney disease. Low deficiency anemic. And what that means is my iron levels are very low. And iron is needed, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's needed to produce blood, oxygen in the blood. That's what iron is for. And when a person has low iron levels, they provide a medication to give, and I take it once a week. It's a little bottle. I inject it in my IV. And so, but one of the symptoms that I have of low iron is whenever I try to fall asleep, I get hypnic jerks. And the hypnic jerk keeps me from actually falling asleep. I get real close to drifting off, and then boom, it's like a shot of electricity. And that's one of the common symptoms of low iron. And so as a result, I have a doctor that prescribes me these two pills, and these pills help me fall asleep. One is called trazodone, and the other is called alprazolam. The alprazolam is a very serious medication. They make me sign for it whenever it's delivered. I have all my medications delivered to my home, and this one I actually have to sign for it. And so they won't leave it outside at the door if I'm not home. And so right away I know this is the more potent one. And my goal is to be off of this one by the time I get my transplant. Now, as far as getting the transplant, May of this year, right now we're in December, so roughly, 6 months ago, I was 24 on the transplant waiting list. So now my guesstimate is that I'm in or near the top 10. So I'm anticipating getting that call any day now. And in fact, they told me whenever the call comes in, don't be surprised if it's in the middle of the night. And also, they said the area code, it's going to be a Virginia area code. So the call center is in the state of Virginia. And so, because you know how some people have a tendency not to pick up the call if they don't recognize the number. So they gave me a heads up on that. But what I did, this is a 2 milligram tablet. This is the most powerful they'll prescribe. So what I did, I cut it in half. And I did that for a week. And the first 3 days, I barely even slept. Barely even slept. And by the way, the trazodone is 100 milligrams. That's also the maximum dosage. So for a week, I'm taking 100 milligrams of this, 1 milligram of alprazolam. And the first 3 days, like I said, I barely slept. And it got a little better. And then after 7 days, I reduced that 1 milligram to half a milligram. I did that for about, I think what it was, 3 nights. And I was not sleeping much at all. And so my energy level was low. And during this time, I'm still going to the gym, but I'm just not working as hard. I just don't have the strength, the energy. Normally, I will jog 5 miles on the treadmill, and it got to the point I was just walking. I would do 5 miles, but I would walk it. And so, because I'm so determined to do 5 miles, whether I walk or jog, do 5 miles. And so, as tired as I was able to walk for an hour and a half and get that 5 miles in. And then, whenever I was lifting weights, the small amount I was lifting, a lot of people, when they lift weights, they want to build muscle. Really, I wasn't building anything. Well, I never really build muscle. I just use my muscle. That's my goal in lifting weights, not to build muscle or to have a physique, but to use my muscle. Use my muscle. Because you've all heard the phrase, use it or lose it. And dialysis it slowly depletes the body. And coupled with the renal disease diet, you're not going to gain weight. You're not going to get bulkier. And so it's important to lift weights just to use your muscle. Go into the gym and lift, 20, 30 pound dumbbell just to use, do some squats even. Like the heaviest thing I lift in my life is a 50-pound sack of rice that I buy every, 3-4 months. So I want to make sure that I can easily lift that 50-pound sack of rice. And when I go to the grocery store, I want to make sure it's easy for me to carry my sacks of groceries. That's my life. That's the heaviest thing that I lift. And going up and down the stairs of my house, I want to make sure going up and down these stairs is easy for me. And so that's what my life. So when I exercise, I'm exercising just for my life and to maintain quality of that life. And so that's the most important thing. During this process, you're going to feel tired, but you want to try to do something. Like I have a little dog, and I will walk him around the block once or twice. And one time around the block, that's about 15 minutes to complete the block in my neighborhood. So if I can do that once or even twice, that's better than nothing. And so that's my goal when I go to the gym. And if you do go to the gym, or if you don't go to the gym and you have reservations about going there, one thing I like to tell people, don't worry about these other people in the gym. Don't compare yourself. You go into these gyms, you're going to see a lot of people in just excellent shape. Do not compare yourself to them. Those people don't care about you. They don't. They're in there taking pictures of themselves, shooting videos of themselves. They live a different life. There's been times I'm walking on a treadmill and some guy comes on the treadmill next to me and begins running like a horse. Good for him. And so you just do your thing in the gym and don't worry about anyone else. But yes, now one thing I want to announce that I know I'm getting real close to getting a kidney, and when I do get that call, I'm going to be posting a lot of short videos. In fact, I'm going to post a short video the moment I get the call. I'm going to make a real short video, and I'm going to document every step of the way. When I get to the hospital, I'm going to document everything they do. And I know their preliminary testing before a surgery, before a transplant can take place. I'm going to document all that. And for example, they're going to make sure you don't have COVID. They're going to make sure you don't have a fever. They're going to check a lot of things. And so they're going to make sure you haven't been drinking and smoking. There's actually a test for that. And I think if a person were to smoke, it increases the size of a person's veins. And that's how they know a person has been smoking, other than the odor itself. And so there's like I said, there's another test they can do to see if a person's been habitually consuming alcohol, because that person is not going to get a kidney. So that's the preliminary testing that I know about so far. But again, I will document that, and because I've seen no videos on YouTube about that. People will talk about getting a kidney a year after the fact. They'll talk about their experience, but I want to really post the details, every detail of it. And I haven't heard any new information about the kidney advancements. I know there was a couple people, they put not a bioartificial kidney, but a genetically modified kidney in them from a pig. And there was positive news about that. Both of those two patients have passed away, but they knew they were going to pass away. They knew. And they chose those two people because I think the medical staff felt they had nothing to lose. They didn't have long to live. So if the experiment went bad, no big deal. And that's my opinion, because as soon as I saw the picture of these two people, I could tell they didn't have long to live. It didn't take a rocket scientist to see. In fact, one was a guy, one was a lady. When I saw the lady, I just knew she didn't have. In fact, I called it. I said I'd give that lady 6 months, and sure enough, she died 3 months later. And the guy too. The guy was in very bad condition, and he died, I think, 2 or 3 months later. But the kidney itself, the transplant, was considered successful because nothing bad happened as a result of the kidney. They had other medical issues, and so I haven't heard anything new since that. And that was last year 2023, or it might have been this year, 2024. Time goes by so fast, but it wasn't that long ago. And the bioartificial kidney, I have not heard anything new, and so I don't know what is going on with that. But one thing, if you do get a kidney from a deceased donor, just keep in mind it's not likely going to last forever. You'll be lucky to get 10 to 12 years out of it. So depending on your age, you may need to get another one. And so I'm hoping that, because I'm in that category, I'm 50 years old. And so, 10 years, that'll put me at about 60 years old. So I will be needing another kidney. So hopefully the advancements are good enough to where I can get a bioartificial kidney. And but other than that, overall, I'm very fortunate. I compare myself to the other kidney disease patients I see at the dialysis clinic, which I do go into once a month. And I'm very fortunate and lucky to be able to do it. My dialysis here in the comfort of my living room on my schedule. And I do it every day. Fortunately, I've had no complications so far. And other than that, I'm just going to keep plugging away, keep doing my thing. This past month was a little bit of a cheat month as far as my diet. My phosphorus level went up just a tad bit, not much. And I knew it went up because I felt itchy. When your phosphorus gets high, you feel itchy. You feel real itchy. And so I wasn't real itchy, but I was a little bit itchy. And I did cheat for Thanksgiving. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I definitely did. I just ate a regular meal. I did not hold back. And that was a straight up cheat meal. And it's okay to have a cheat meal. I would recommend no more than once a week a cheat meal, whether a pizza or something like that, whatever you like. And but yeah, so other than that, I'll go ahead and cut it short for now, and I'll try to keep posting regularly. I'm not the type who thinks of content, but I'll try to post more as I get closer to getting a transplant, and I'm getting really excited. I'm looking at job ads and seeing what kind of job I can do in this phase of my life. And I'm definitely not going to go back to my old job. And I was a sheriff's deputy, by the way. That was my job when I got diagnosed. And so I did it for 5 years. And prior to that, I was a high school teacher. I did that for 7 years. And then prior to that, I spent 13 years as a private investigator. So that's my adult life work experience. And so I'm thinking about becoming a truck driver. And I think it would be a good fit for me because I've been pretty much on house arrest going on the past 4 years. I have to be home at about 3-4 o'clock every day. I mean, not full-blown house arrest. I can actually leave the house, but I can't go very far. The last 3 years plus years of my life has been just going to the gym, going to the grocery store, the hospital, the dialysis clinic. And I'm very fortunate that I live within 10 minutes of the hospital and the dialysis clinic, because I live in a very rural part of the Midwest. And there are people who live 2, 3, 4 hours away. They have to drive in. And thank God I don't have to do that. And I'm very lucky to be just 10 minutes away from one of the best hospitals in the country. And so I see the positive sides in my whole experience, and hopefully you see the positive sides in your experience. And because everything in life has good and bad, there's a good side and a bad side. And at my age, being diagnosed with kidney disease, I kind of see it as a positive because I look at life as a game, and every game has a halftime. Football game, basketball game, whatever, has a halftime. And that's the time to kind of analyze what you've done and figure out what you hope to do in the second half. And so this is my halftime. And this past 3+ years, I've had a lot of time to think about my past, the mistakes I've made. I've made crazy mistakes. I've done pretty good in life, but I could have done so much better without the mistakes. And I think we can all say that. And I guess my biggest mistake was the people I allowed in my life. When I was young, in my 20s, I allowed bad people in my life. And basically, they were like anchors. They were holding me down. And I could have done much more without those anchors in my life. But when I was 33, I moved away from America and I moved to Thailand. And I got away from all of those bad people who were holding me down. I started with a clean slate. and that turned my life around. And so, one thing, you want to have either good people in your life or no people in your life. Because I'd rather have no people in my life than bad people. I can do it on my own. And so I just have a few people in my life right now, and I'm very guarded about who I allow into my life. Very guarded. And so I will go ahead and let you go for now. And whenever something comes to my mind, I will post another video. And like I said, when I get that call, be sure to hit that bell to be notified, because I will be posting videos probably in the middle of the night. So, and they'll be short videos just as I go along with the process. So, over and out.